What's up, music fans of the internet? I'm Kevin.
I'm Derek.
And together we are last week's album, and in this episode we're reviewing Natalie Prass by Natalie Prass. But before we get into it, we'll kick things off like we always do, drinking a beer. Cheers, Derek, and everyone at home.
Cheers, Kevin, everyone at home.
And let's start with some background on Natalie Prass. She's a 29-year-old singer-songwriter, born in Virginia Beach, went to school for a year at Berklee School of Music, spent the past 9 years in Nashville, and now she's back in Richmond, Virginia. She recorded this album at Space Bomb Studios there in Richmond, and she recorded it back in January 2012. It's been in production ever since, not by mistake, but because the two producers are sort of painstaking producers, Trey Pollard and Matthew E. White, who you might recognize from Big Inner, which was a critically acclaimed album from 2012. And fun fact, Space Bomb is kind of bringing back the old school house band model, kind of like Stax, Motown, Muscle Shoals, and theirs is made up of like 30 different musicians from VCU, which has one of the best jazz conservatories in the country. So that might give you an idea of what this sounds like, but let's just tell you what it sounds like. Derek, what do you think?
Kevin, I think Natalie Prass sounds like strong vocals accompanied by 60s and 70s soul and R&B, crafted from countless clutch collaborations.
Nice. I like that. I think this sounds like Dionne Warwick meets Dusty Springfield, or an emotionally moving mixture of classic soul, country, and R&B. If you're not familiar with those two, go check them out. Let's talk about key tracks. Derek, what are you selecting?
Kevin, my key track is one called Violently.
All right. Well, I am going to go with Your Fool, which comes earlier on the album as track number 3, so I will kick things off with key tracks. Your Fool opens with bouncing piano, layered backing vocals, thumping bass, prodding drums, woozy horns and jittery hand claps spice up the chorus. There's this halfway interlude that features these sort of drawn-out strings and stabbing horns, creating this really nice, palpable musical tension. Toward the end, we get flourishing accents of flute and even electric guitar. And there's a lyrical gem in here. She says, "So tonight when you're out, you'll come back to an empty house with a note signed, 'Sincerely, Your Fool,'" which is a great sarcastic turn of phrase that's perfect for this track. And a refreshing reminder that you don't need to swear or scream to pack a vocal punch. Just a beautiful track of triumph and standing up for yourself. So, Derek, tell us about Violently.
Kevin, despite the name of this one, it's not really that violent. It opens with soft, bluesy piano paired with electric guitar, some subtle strings, and vulnerable-sounding lyrics. As the song builds, there are some horns, more pronounced strings, soft percussions, and at times, especially over the courses, it feels like it's bordering on balladry. It's about to get all sappy on you. But if you listen to the lyrics, it does anything but that. It describes this intense, passionate love affair, and it really seems like this almost ballad sound or theme is fueled more by lust and not love, which is completely contrary to all the typical ballads that play on the radio. Over the course, she says, "Just want to know you violently. Oh, I've had enough talking politely. And the red is there. It's all over me. It's over. Oh, eloquently." I just really like the rhyme scheme there, and it sounds like it's this heart-drenching type thing, but the lyrics tell a much different story, and I just really dug that contrast, and the way this one builds is really fantastic as well.
Yeah, that's another great track. Definitely check that one out as well, guys. Let's talk about best lyrics. Derek, what are you going with?
My best lyric comes from a track called "Why Don't You Believe in Me?" And she says, "We've had enough time to find out what we are, the reason we should be walking in the dark, but now we should know how cruel love can be." And I just thought it was cool because this kind of introspective look at oneself and kind of their place in the overall scheme of life. But then it's also very one can relate to it. Almost anyone can. Some low point, but then the rest of the song kind of reminds you to pick yourself up and all that.
Yeah. Side note, Why Don't You Believe in Me might be the saddest song title ever. Not just Why Don't You Believe Me, but Why Don't You Believe in Me? So sad.
Well, it's not even a question, Kevin. It's not even a question. It's a statement.
Great point, Derek. Great point. If it were a question, it would be a little less sad. Maybe? I don't know.
Maybe question mark.
I'm going with a best lyric from My Baby Don't Understand Me, and the line goes, Our love is a long goodbye. And that just encapsulates this entire album. It is a long sort of heartbreak album, not long in length, but long in material on the same theme. And that's just kind of what it feels like, a long goodbye in a good way. So let's talk about overall rating. Derek, what are you giving Natalie Prass?
Natalie Prass is getting a 4 from me, a very strong 4. I really like the diverse instrumentation. I thought refreshing. I feel like in today's music, too often horns or strings appear almost like a cameo on an album. Here they are a major player, and the playing is fantastic. The vocals were great, ranging from vulnerable to sultry to strong and everything in between. I think I think you hit it well when you're talking about the best lyric. Our love is a long goodbye. I think that encapsulates it's a long emotional trip on this one, but I really liked it. The only bad I could say, well, actually, I couldn't even really find anything bad. Maybe it was too sad at times. Maybe I was wondering about the punctuation at the end of certain song titles. But that's a strong 4.
All right. Well, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. And I'll start with the pros because they're mostly pros. I think this is a completely fresh style. Subtle vocals with these meticulously measured production feels like a brand new musical balance. There's plenty of old school sort of soul influences here, but a lot of those either featured over-the-top vocals or over-dramatic arrangements. I don't think anyone's ever done both sort of in equal measure and very measured all at the same time. So really fresh take. Vocal acrobatics were awesome, as Derek mentioned. It's deceptively short, just 38 minutes, but it still feels full and totally satisfying. Overall, just an amazing debut and a testament to the magic that can happen when you take your time to create a fully realized musical vision. The only con I can think of, if you made me list one, would be that sometimes her soft vocal delivery leaves some really great lyrics on the table and they kind of get lost in the mix. But I'm not going to falter for that. I'm going to go 5 out of 5. And Derek's giving it a 4 out of 5, so that's a 9 out of 10. Definitely check out Natalie Prass by Natalie Prass. Don't forget to subscribe to us here on last week's album. And thanks so much for tuning in, guys. We'll be back next time. I'm Kevin.
I'm Derek. Next time, cheers.